Coach. One more question. I think we'd all be remiss if we didn't kind of get your feedback on the Last Dance documentary. I know that you were spending time, I believe you were at Carolina during his second three-peat or whatnot. So definitely want to hear your feedback on Jordan just being kind of like a part of that legacy at North Carolina, what it was like for you when you were attending there while he was winning those second three-peats, and your overall reaction to the Last Dance and the impact that it can have on Carolina recruiting.
I was telling my son, it's crazy, but obviously, guys that know me, I grew up a big Deion Sanders fan, right? So I was telling my sons, because I don't think kids do enough of it, in my opinion, and I base it on my kids and some of the kids I've been around. But, I practice all Deion Sanders moves, right? His dancing and celebrating and, spinning the ball. We both played football and baseball, but, I so-called called myself a hooper growing up too, right? I realized that I wasn't going to hoop once I stopped growing, right? I got stuck at 5'9", and I wasn't able to grow anymore, but I still idolized and looked up to Michael Jordan. I was a big Carolina basketball guy, but I used to practice MJ moves in the backyard. Some of his moves, that shot he hit against Cleveland, against Craig Elo and those guys when he was hanging in double pump. I used to practice that move in my backyard, and which was crazy, but that was some of the things that I would do as a kid growing up, to see it, right, and to hear him talk about it, to see some of all the stuff that he did, what made him great, man, is crazy. Being a part of the brands since 2004, seeing Fred Winfield and some of the videos, seeing Howard White, some of the guys in his personal space, in his room, I've been around those guys. I've been in his personal space. And so to be able to see that and say, I was one of those guys at some point, it's pretty cool. I don't really, again, I don't tell my kids, I mentioned it to them a little bit. My wife was there and around, but it's pretty cool. I don't really like to bring it up much, but to be in his personal space, like I've been to the Derby with him, he bring his players with him to the Derby and hang out. I've been around some of the craziest people, but it's pretty cool. And M, just for the record, he talks trash now, like, because I feel like football players are the best athletes, right? I have debates with Rashid and some of the other guys that I know that play basketball, but M, he'll run the football player through mud now. He make us seem like, we the stupidest dudes because we run around hitting each other, right? And so, but it's crazy. He'll make you feel bad about it. And so one of the last stories I had, or one of the last conversations I had with M in person, we were out one evening in Charlotte, and we had a debate about who were the better athletes, football and basketball players. And then he said, John, let me ask you a question. He said, how old were you when you retired? I said, about 32, 33. And then he asked, he was like, how old are you right now? I said, about 35, 36. It was something like that. He said, I won an MVP at 35. So he shut me up real fast, and said, homeboy, when you was retired and 3-4 years out of the game, I was winning championships and MVPs. And so, it's pretty cool to see all of that stuff, man. Like, he really has played a tremendous role in my life and where I am today. My kids, I tell people all the time, once you get a part of that brand, you in for life. I can pick up the phone right now and call, my Connect and ask for Christmas shoes or spring shoes, for my kids, or, we starting up in the fall. Once we go back, send me a summer package, then send me a package. And so, but that's, through the relationship, that's, through the benefits of being a Tar Heel. And I'm forever grateful for that. And partly a lot of that have to do with Mack Brown for me. Mack Brown giving me an opportunity to come to the University of North Carolina. None of that would be so if it wasn't for Coach Brown.